I want to talk today about anxiety. We know that it's a big problem for many people, and that most of us have probably felt some anxiety at some time during our lives. But it's a very big part of most illnesses. Most people feel some anxiety about getting ill. And it's also a very big part of a lot of people's lives. A lot of people spend a lot of their time feeling anxious, and it's a very unpleasant feeling. And of course, the energy that anxiety generates or creates within you can be quite damaging to your overall health in terms of acupuncture, in terms of qi. Anxiety is likely to stagnate qi. It's likely to prevent qi circulating in a productive, healthy way through your body and prevent you from living a fulfilling life. If you're preoccupied by anxiety, it's an extremely unpleasant experience for people. And it appears to be very much on the increase, not only in all age groups, in young people and in elderly people and middle-aged people. No one seems to be immune from the possibility of suffering from anxiety. So I thought it was really worth talking about it. And I think that there are two ways we can look at anxiety. One is what I would call the traditional way. You can get drugs for anxiety, you can make lifestyle changes for anxiety, you can have talk therapy to help you deal with anxiety, and you can have acupuncture to help you with anxiety. And of course, there are lots of things that people, listening to tapes, taking up Tai Chi, meditation, lots of self-help things that you can also do for anxiety. From the perspective of an acupuncturist, we're going to be looking at the heart and the kidneys most likely, and we're going to be seeing how stable the heart is, how good the heart blood is, whether to coin a phrase if you like, whether the emperor, i.e. the heart, is happy and stable on his throne. And if he is, then the whole kingdom of the body, the whole of the person, will hopefully be in balance and reflecting that stability of the emperor. And anxiety is when that emperor is unstable and the whole kingdom is in distress or possibly even chaos. So we need to have that feeling within ourselves that our emperor is sitting on the throne. And anxiety is when he isn't, when the dynamics between heart and kidney are not as they should be, and when the emotion which underpins and underlies anxiety, namely the emotion of fear, is dominating. And that fear can be induced by many things, but it pretty much describes anxiety. Fear pretty much describes anxiety when you boil it down. When you boil it down to the basics, what you feel like when you're anxious is that you want to get away and you want to get back in control. The heart is the supreme controller. So you want to feel back in control of yourself, in control of your life, and in control of your immediate environment. So maybe you want to feel in control of your relationship to another person. You maybe want to feel in control of your illness. You maybe want to feel in control of your finances, but it's still a fear of lack of control of yourself and your life that is the essential issue. And as I say, all those things I've mentioned up to now will work to help with that. If we have a patient for acupuncture, we support that with acupuncture, we support their heart, we support their heart blood, we treat their pericardium, we talk to them about the things that are causing them the anxiety, and we help them as they help themselves through that. But all of that is, if you like, proactive. We've got a problem, anxiety, how are we going to solve it? How are we going to address it? Drugs, therapies, acupuncture, etc. There is, however, another way of looking at anxiety, and it's one that maybe you can resort to when all of the first one has failed. And that is to take a conscious view of yourself and your life. It's more difficult to explain this. So what I'd say is what you need to do in those circumstances is to go and sit down on a chair and accept unconditionally the situation as it is. You're not in control. You are frightened. You're feeling anxious. Now just sit there and let that be. It's not an easy thing to do, because everything we want to do when we're suffering from anxiety is to escape it, to get away from it, to resolve it. And all those strategies I've talked about to now are to do with that approach. They're not saying complete unconditional acceptance of the moment, which is what I'm suggesting now. If we are able to relinquish all desire for control, if we are able to detach ourselves from the anxiety being my anxiety, my feelings, my fear, and move to a position where we are an observer of our lives, we are an observer of anxiety rather than a participant. If we're able to do that, or at least to start to do that, then it's not so much that we're going to say that the anxiety is going to be cured or resolved. It may still be there, and we may still be observing it. We have to give up all desire to cure or resolve it, because we're just unconditionally accepting it as it is. Unconditionally accepting that this is a moment. It's not our moment, it's not our life, it's a moment that we are witnessing. And easier said than done, of course. Most of us aren't able to completely let go of all control like that. But from my own personal experience, I can say that moving in that direction helped me. When I was able, that was a strategy that I have adopted when I felt anxious, and it wasn't pleasant, but it did help me to simply accept it unconditionally, or at least to try to move in that direction. So there are my two angles, if you like, or two ways of looking at anxiety. One, the traditional way, find out what's wrong and put it right, and the other one, the non-traditional way, if you like, accept unconditionally and surrender to it. Okay.